So I just started another live screen cap, and I'm gonna see if I can kind of cheat the system. I want to see if I can screen cap my recording from YouTube, but also show it on my on-screen broadcast from my graphics card. Because I'm not as intelligent as the others just yet to figure out how to do it all and make it work. Bow, you're there with Joe. I am so happy that you guys have got together. I am upset that I've actually missed um, that interaction. It's both of my worlds collided from when I first started out expressing the Skype chat versus the Socratic method, and when I actually decided to take it and move with the cop watching aspect. Joe was actually reverse ethical anarchist. Articulated was actually reverse. He was in the cop watching scene first, then went into the court watching area. So respect for both of them. Those are very great guys. I appreciate everything that they do. Okay, alright, so this will actually work for me. I am happy with that, and we can make it work. So, is what I have here. Okay, alright, so this will actually work for me. I am happy. We'll need to mute that. Alright, just making it. Thank you guys for sticking around. Really appreciate it. I enjoy everything that you guys do. So we're going to go ahead and get started. James Freeman was arrested today. He was arrested for filming in a public area, in a public meeting. I'm not 100% sure of all the details. From what I'm hearing, it was supposed to be some sort of lawyer that comes down to City Hall and they take over the room and make it a courtroom is what they call it. And everybody that comes in has to abide by these court rules and everything of that, the voodoo and shenanigans that we see all the time. And it is quite ridiculous. I really agree with that. So I'm going to bring up just what happened right here. This is James Freeman's channel. Whoops. We're going to support him and watch this ad.
So you can play hard. We're the pros at True Green.
If you guys are watching on my live stream that you can see my channel, I want you guys to switch. I'm going to give you guys a link to swap back to, because this is actually where I'm hosting. So we had 32 on the other one and got 13 on this one. I want you guys to transfer over to the new live stream. I'm trying to get you guys that link right now. If anyone can post that link for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. So we have 32 watching in this one. This is the one where I want you guys to go. I'm posting you guys a link. Go ahead and transfer over from this chat to the next one. I messed up. I apologize. I want all 31 of you guys to go over and take a look at that. That's going to be where I'm going to be giving you guys all of the core content that you're not seeing now. So switch over, pay attention to that, and I'll meet you guys over there. Everyone that's on the old stream, please move over to the new stream that I posted. There's 21 watching. Please move over to the new stream. My apologies. I'm still trying to get things set up. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I have 19 watching on my old stream. I need you to move to my new stream, please. Alright, so we got most of the people over there moved over. Alright. So we got 32 people over here. This is exactly what I need. Alright. We've had a false start. I appreciate you guys. This incident that we're looking at now. This is the James Freeman incident that was live streamed when he went into this so-called city hall slash made into a courtroom area. As you can see, there's just chairs that are set up. It doesn't matter where they handle business or where they have court, because they'll just claim it's court and you have to abide by, religion at this point. Apparently, due process, as they call it, is completely obliterated. It is straight out the window. Reasonable suspicion, completely out the window. You don't even have to be committing a crime, a quote-unquote crime, and it's straight out the window. But we're going to go through, we're going to listen here, and I want to find out how we actually got to James Freeman being arrested. So let's take a listen. He's sitting here. They're going through. I guess there are a few minutes. Of course, he's remaining silent. Very civil. We're going to move it up. Find the right point. So again, as you can see, he is remaining completely civil, just being quiet. So as you can see, this bailiff, as you can call him, is moving about asking everybody why they're here, because he watches them sign in. So at this point, he's taking attendance of everybody in the courtroom. Who needs to be there, who does not need to be there, and who actually can be shown the way out. Who is not fearful of our system? The people that are not required to be here from the threat of force. You guys don't know what the threat of force is yet, but we'll go over that. So I'm looking for a specific point right here. I forgot what timestamp it was. My apologies. Oh yeah, listen right here. He said we're about to get started here in about 10 minutes. I don't know if you guys can hear it. How's the volume? Can you tell me in chat, how's the volume? Is the volume alright? Can you guys hear? It's too low. Alright, let me see if I can adjust that. Can you hear my voice though? Is my volume good or is the video volume good? Alright, let's see. We'll get back to this. Okay, hopefully this comes up and is much louder. Alright. This is the instance that I want to show you guys. Hopefully, video is low and just general. I think this is the loudest that I can actually make the video go. But, yeah, video is low. I wish I can get it louder. We're going to listen to this part and tell me if you guys hear it. He's going to discuss and speak to the audience that we have here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started here in about 10 minutes. Please note the rules of the court. No food, no drinking here, no electronic devices, no phones, no recording devices at all allowed inside the courtroom. So at this time, if you're having those on you, please take them to your vehicles. Welcome to come back in the courtroom after you pause.
All right, were you guys able to hear that? Anybody give me a yes, a no about the audio? No, no audio? Okay, then this video is not going to work. Okay, then we will stop that. Well, I apologize. Yeah, I just took the video down. I don't know why the audio is not working for me very well. But pretty much James Freeman went into this public area and they had a few moments before that they were going to start. Yeah, if you guys are on the channel that has just my video of my webcam, you guys are on the wrong channel. But James Freeman was arrested because he was filming in a public area, which is unfortunate. But why was he arrested? They challenged a couple times, no filming, no video, no photography, nothing of that sort allowed inside of this quote-unquote courtroom, which is ridiculous. I don't know why that they have the courtroom as just some chairs set up. So anyway, we are going to move on. Get back to my chat. Oh my goodness, I am so horrible. All right. So with James Freeman being arrested, that really sparks up something in my point of view. With that, I want to say I have filmed in a courtroom before. It's on my channel. And this is one of my videos. It's only got 95,000 views. I don't know why. I wish it had more. But you guys need to learn how to hold up. The point of all this is I'm having so much trouble, and I'm baffled, and I apologize. Thank you guys for bearing with me. OCSOB007, where was the open meeting to discuss the modification of the court rules and notice of changes? Everyone that's walking in is already walking into an open meeting. Everybody is already walking into that sense where the meeting is open and the record is live. So whatever goes on there is them changing rules. James Freeman was held in contempt and they had no respect for him at all. luckily he had Joe, ethical anarchist articulated, and Clash with Bow helping him out. They filed a habeas corpus. We'll get into that with the habeas corpus and everything of that sort. But I've been doing this for some time. I've taken a break for it, but as far as I know, I was the first to take a camera into the courtroom 2 years ago in 2016, which that video we'll start with is actually right here. So we'll play this. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and go in the chat. But this is what happened when I took a camera inside the courtroom. This was on September 6, 2016. And this was for allegations against me for speeding and possession of drug paraphernalia. These allegations were eventually dropped. I have video documentation of the entire proceedings that everything has gone on. But I also put in a lot of work behind the scenes in order to make this happen. So we'll go ahead and start.
Well, Mr. Herron, how are you today?
It'd be better if I could see the evidence of jurisdiction, Judge.
Well, Mr. Herron, we're going to see what the prosecutor has. And already made rulings on that, so we're going to go a step beyond that and the opportunity to question the officer.
Well, I object to that, Judge. I would just like to see the evidence of jurisdiction. I don't have any questions for the officer. I mainly have questions for clarifications for the prosecution. Whenever she gets in, I can ask her if she has the evidence. But I don't know if the record's going right now, but if it is, I do object to these proceedings continuing forward. I do object being here right now, and I wish for this to be over.
Mr. Herron, we all wish for this to be over, but it's not going to happen right now.
But yeah, at this point, I
have not pled to the proceedings.
At this point, I've been in there. As you can see, I've time-lapsed it really fast. It's been about 25 or 30 minutes with editing and everything of that sort. But I am sitting here in what they call a quote-unquote real, with quotation marks, courtroom. And they are allowing me to film. That's good for right now, but let's see what happens.
I have not been arraigned. I still would like to be able to be informed as to the cause and nature of the proceedings.
Mr. Herron, I'm going to wait till we get on the record and then we'll take your comments.
You got to object. Object all the way. Make sure it's known. They're still recording.
All electronics are ready. I just need you to tell me when and I'll start it up.
Okay, start it up. Now this is where the perceived video starts.
This is the 6th day of September 2016. Here are the cases. The state of Texas City allowed speeding. Both offenses alleged to have occurred on March 3rd, 2016.
So as you guys can see, I have clearly been recording, and this judge hasn't said much. So we'll go ahead and put that off to the side. Really. But was that the first time? No, that was not the first time. I can tell you that I've had plenty of times where I've recorded in the courtroom. So why was James Freeman targeted? He was in a City Hall. He was not in a courtroom, in a courthouse. They weren't doing this escalated security that they have that we'll see here.
Camera girl has already gotten hers dismissed. Now we're here to see exactly what's going to happen with ours.
Headphone warning. Headphone warning.
Yes, thank you.
Back. It's that is the basement. The elevator on the left hand side. You'll see that.
So far, so good.
Back pocket.
So do we just go after the guy, right?
Last name Heron, first name Raymond.
Herring?
Heron?
Herring? Not like the fish, just herring?
I wanted to say something right here. It's not a fish. It's a freaking bird. Okay? If you're going to insult somebody, do it right. And don't be a dumb jockey behind a desk with a chair. Look how ridiculous this guy looks. I'm sorry, but this looks ridiculous to me. This looks extremely ridiculous to me. I looked at the chat. Time for changes. Watching Solis, hoping to get back to auditing. Yes. Bakersfield is kind of all right, but I haven't had a chance to actually get out. But as you know, there's a lot of stuff going out here in California, so I just like to keep my distance from drama, and that's all I'm going to say on that. But did me and CCW, I'm not sure who CCW is, but anyway, back to the rant. This hooligan sitting in the chair, look at this. He's like, herring? Not like the fish, but what? And I'm like, it's not a fish, dude. It's a bird. Insult right.
May I have your name and badge number, please?
Please, 183.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's right. Make them their business. I get a close-up of his face.
You know your SID number?
I do not.
Do I know my SID number? I don't know what the heck a SID number is. So I just said I do not. But I'm sure that was another insult because he assumes that I'm already convicted here on bond or something like that. Again, this flappy hair person is just screwing himself out. But again, as you see, the point of this is not for me to show videos that you guys can watch on your own, but it's for me to show you that I am interacting in a courtroom with bailiffs, police officers, judges, prosecutors, everyone of the court ranking I'm interacting with. And yet, James Freeman was in a city hall in a makeshift courtroom with a lawyer pretending to be a judge. It's crazy. Streamy Silence. Hey, what's going on, Streamy Silence? News Now Phoenix, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Joshua Haynes, you always are here. I really appreciate you showing up. So we'll get back to this, but I'm still filming. As you can see, I'm standing up, though. That is the point. I'm standing up. In this first aspect right here, I'm standing up. I'm not sitting down, because when the judge comes in, they say all rise, because this person that's standing is the most powerful person in the room. Well, guess what? I'm the one that's first standing when he walks into the room, because I'm the most powerful person in that courtroom. If I know how to arm myself with the knowledge of legalese and the proper way to defend myself against the allegations from the quote-unquote state, the pretender, the prosecutor, the judge, the court personnel, we've all been there, and we know that it is not acceptable for anything that goes on in that courthouse. They pretty much strip you at the front, like the bailiffs would. Then they move you back into, they pretty much herd you. You check in, you herd over here, you go to your place, you stand in line, there's a seating area, they stand up, file you in. It is all about dominance and control. And we cannot stand for dominance and control. That is not acceptable. Dominance and control is not acceptable. And you guys are going to love this. It's not acceptable in this day and age. In this day and age, it's not acceptable. But again, let's see what happens.
Do you know your SID number?
I do not.
Don't know whatever a SID number is.
All right. County Court 5 now says I'm
Thanks, folks. Please be seated. Good morning and welcome.
See, all rise. Just for an introduction, because they want to make the perception that this person coming in is the most powerful person that they have, and he determines your fate. Well, as we saw with James Freeman, this corrupt individual is as corrupt as the rest. James Freeman was subjected to pure violence. Violence in an area that is public. They claim it's a public hearing. But yet, he was abused. He was threatened. He feared for his safety. And that is not allowed. That is not right. That is not ethical. That is an insult to injury. Especially when it's these clowns in robes. We're not sheeple. Francete? I don't know if I pronounced that right. But we're not we're not sheeple. They are not the puppet master over us. They do not get to dictate whether or not we are safe. We get to dictate whether or not they are in office. And yet, clearly, in this election season, they are invading and encroaching on our privacy, our freedom, our well-being. They don't care about it, because if we resist at any point, we can be shot, tased, killed, and it'll be justified. Does that sound like the America that you wish to be part of? Do you wish to be part of a quote-unquote America? Well, anybody's freedom can be shot down and destroyed simply because they are doing illegal activity? Whatever illegal activity may be. Whatever illegal activity may be defined as. And you can justify it just because it's an elected person of the people, for the people, by the people, from their terms. Of the people, by the people, for the people, of their terms. And yet, when we elect them, they clearly dispose and drop the so-called rights that each individual person that steps in their presence is allowed to have from their own oath to the wind. An oath to the wind, my friends, is nothing. An oath to the wind is nothing but a lie. It is a lie, my friends. F Off Productions, we must stay together. As you say, we must stay together. And it is clear that we must stay together. But let's see what happens if we don't stay together. Would anyone stand up if an injustice was happening in front of their face? Or are they going to fall to be sheeple? Is that what we're trained to be?
Where'd you like me, Judge?
Shut the camera off.
This recording is not on you, just for audio purposes, just so, you know, I have a record for later.
Okay. So you've got a motion for discovery and Brady material.
All right, before we get into those motions, I want to clarify what we have going on here. I'm going to reach out to you guys in the chat. Did you guys hear this? I walk up and the judge says, shut the camera off. Shut the camera off. I say, no, Judge. I'm simply recording because I want to verify a proper record. That's simple. And what did he say? Okay. Let me know in the chat how you guys feel about that. The judge just simply said, okay, to my tort against him. Tort, challenge? I don't know what you would call it. He said one thing, I said the opposite, and he agreed with me. I think I win the negotiation at that point. So sound off in the chat. Let me know what you think about that. This judge just said okay for me recording, not him, but recording in his courtroom.
Motion. Okay.
So.
Camera off.
And we'll go back.
All right. County Court 5 now says on
Thanks, folks. Please be seated. Good morning and welcome.
Where'd you like me, Judge?
Right up here. Shut the camera off.
This recording is not on you, just for audio purposes, just so, you know, I have a record for later.
Okay. So you've got a motion for discovery and Brady material. Motion to dismiss, file these on your own behalf, sir.
They were filed, yes.
I will stop right there. If you guys want to talk about legalese, I don't know how much of a delay that this is, but we'll go in order of sequential facts. I walked up with the camera to my chest, clearly on him. He asked me to turn it off. I said, I am simply recording to manage a proper record. I set it down. He said, okay. He then said, we have a motion to dismiss and a motion for Brady. And then he asked, did you file these on your own behalf? Hell yeah! OCSOB, Mark Stevens motion, right there. Thank you. Thank you. I'm about to get into that. At least somebody knows what's up. At least somebody knows what's up. Okay. Oh, this guy. I appreciate it. Streaming silence. That is a very valued point. We'll get into that because I would love to discuss that, but that's a point for later. But at this point, yes, there is this guy. His name is Mark Stevens. MarkStevens.net, and I'm actually gonna put that up real quick. MarkStevens.net. I'm gonna put that up for you guys right here. This MarkStevens.net. This guy is brilliant. Success stories. Sure. I'm curious because I know that he gets so many. I don't know if I'd be able to find mine, but I have quite a few success stories here. As you can see, there's evidence at every success story that you see posted has factual evidence that jurisdiction was challenged and that the defendant, or alleged defendant, we'll say, actually surpassed the verdict. Got a not guilty. Got a dismissal. Actually, got a dismissal. Not a not guilty, but a dismissal. And it's amazing. But yeah, there's so many that just come through. His channel is flooded. I would love to go, but mine were probably back whenever you saw this one. And this was in November 9th, 2016. And I actually have that evidence submitted to Mark Stevens for December 9th. Let me see if I can find it. I would love to find it for you guys. So this was November. Actually, we'll go next entries. I am looking because I'm trying to find it. I really want to show you guys this information, because if you guys follow and able to have this thought process of the Socratic method, you're able to challenge these people on a different level. And that's what I'm trying to get to tonight. But it's really difficult because I'm trying to present the factual evidence to you. But there's so much that I'm trying to organize into an actual plausible thought process that I probably should have prepared for you. But after this Mr. Freeman arrest for what's going on, I am very disturbed about this incident. And the habeas corpus that comes through, and people were talking about not filing your own paperwork. As you guys can clearly see in this instance, I filed my own motion to dismiss. Well, it wasn't mine. It was mine the moment that I took it from Mark Stevens and transformed it into my own motion. He merely supplied a template. If you guys ever need Mark Stevens templates or anything of that sort, I will show you where you guys can actually look for. But he has done so much for the community that he has consultation events. Again, he is not a legal consult. He is merely an assistant of counsel, as most of you are aware of, that you saw with ethical anarchism articulated and Clash with Bao. Both of these gentlemen are from the same Skype that I am from the same upbringing that I have seen. And this is where most of us have started from. This is where most of us clarified our skills. This is where we became masters in challenging the dictators, the tyrants, the police, the judges, the courts, the people, the sheeple. This is where we've learned to think a different way and transition our mindset into a better way of handling the judicial system. Instead of calling yourself a citizen, because I will take this poll right now and then we'll come back and clarify. I have 39 watching right now. I want every single one of you to tell me what your definition of an American citizen is right now in the channel. Please type it out, what your definition of an American citizen is. I would love to hear it. 007, that's what I'm going to call you. You got to sit out though, bro. You already know where I'm taking this classroom, so you're ruining my flavor, bro. No, Joshua Haynes, it's not that they messed up messing with James. It's the fact that they messed up having their officers out on the street enforcing the orders of these judges. Because with all the cop watching, and what I've been trying to portray for years, is the fact that for years, the police on the street are just the front line of this corporation. And if you take any corporation and you break it down into business, but I don't like taking this perspective whenever speaking about courts, simply because it comes into what they consider a UCC or a Universal Commercial Commission something code, the UCC code. It doesn't make sense. They're all making assertions. You can't make an assertive statement without factual evidence to back you up. And these officers make assertive statements, which we are clearly aware of. So we challenge them on their assertive statements. The fact that they have authority over you. Why, what, who, when, where, and how. So Mark Stevens is an amazing guy. You guys should check him out. Again, markstevens.net. On Skype, I'll even pull my Skype up real quick for you guys. Although I haven't been on in some time, and I need to go through and sort out my channels. But we got the No State Project here. Oh, wow. Whoops, I'm going to crash. All right. Maybe not. Skype likes to act out. I guess there's so much activity. Anywho, but on Skype, the No State Project on Skype, also LRN FM. I suggest you guys go take a look. But anyway, let's get off of this Mark Stevens, and we'll get back to the Judge Longoria.
Go a lot easier.
If you guys want to know exactly where the shenanigans come from and why these officers are the way that they are, I want you to listen to this. We're going to play it for a few minutes. Just listen to what's going on back and forth. And tell me if you think anything is off.
On you and me, if you'll just answer the question directly. Did you file these on your behalf, or do you have someone representing you?
I filed these motions. I was the one that filed them. At the current time, no one is representing me, but I don't wish to waive any counsel.
Okay.
I'm just, here just trying to seek clarifications on a few things. Is the prosecution present?
Prosecution's right there. That's Mr. Applebaum.
That's Mr. Applebaum?
Yes.
All right.
Would you like time to confer with him?
Well, does he have any evidence that, that was requested on the 24th that those motions were submitted?
Mr. Herron, this is an arraignment setting. This is your opportunity to enter a plea of either guilty, not guilty, no contest, or request a setting for trial.
So do I have the right to plead guilty here today?
You've got a right to plead guilty or not guilty or no contest or whatever.
And do I have the right to an informed plea of guilty here today?
Of course.
And do I have the right to be informed to the cause and nature of the proceedings?
Yes, sir.
And who holds the burden of proof here today?
The state does.
And who is the state?
Mr. Applebaum represents the state. The state are all these people you see around you.
All right, Mr. Applebaum represents the state. All right. Now, does
I'm not here to conduct law school.
I'm not trying to conduct any law school, Judge. I'm just simply trying to clarify again. I'm not trying to be imposed upon here today at all. I would just like to be able to get this done here. You said that I do have the right to plead guilty.
Every once in a while, I can maybe tell you what it was I was trying to bring up here to tell you.
Yes, Judge. My apologies.
I don't have a court file. Okay, I don't even have a copy of what you're charged with at this time. All I have is a docket notation that tells me what the charge is. The only things I have in your file are your filings. The state's file has, for some reason, not been created yet, so I'm limited in terms of what I can tell you about this.
Well, Judge, at this point in time, with no file, I moved to dismiss for failure to state a case.
Okay, well, your motion will be denied. The state will have an adequate time to file this.
On what grounds, sir?
On the grounds that it's premature. They have an opportunity to, your right of speedy trial is not attached yet. You haven't set it for trial. You haven't requested a trial. You haven't even entered a plea.
Does the prosecution have to respond to relevant motions?
Sure.
And why has the prosecution failed to respond to relevant motions that have now been,
Did you serve those?
They were served, and I have video footage of them being served directly to the DA's office. I have copies here that are stamped and signed, as you see on that copy. My copies are the same one. So they were served on the 24th. So he's had ample time to go ahead and state a case, put in the proper paperwork, and if he has failed to do so, I move to dismiss at that time.
Dismiss denied again. The court's not going to dismiss the case. The court's going to give the prosecution adequate time to prepare and file the case.
All right, so let me stop you guys right there. Adequate time. if you guys aren't familiar with the progression of this case, or this alleged case, as of right now, let me bring you up to speed. This was for the same allegation that was for the arrest for Buck G and myself when we were charged with failure to ID and obstruction of a pathway, roadway, walkway, or something of that sort. We challenged that. Well, I challenged that the way that I have right here, which was not a thing back then for most people, or at least videotaping or blogging or vlogging or whatever you want to call what we're doing. This was not documented back then. Now it's starting to hit mainstream with some of the high profile auditors that are coming through and figuring out that there's an injustice not only on the street, but there's an injustice in the courtroom. Again, I have a camera. How long has this been going? 6 minutes, as you can see down here. 6 minutes from this video. We'll project that into about 30, 45 minutes in the courtroom. This was Blue Ghost Media. This was at the Bexar County Bexar County Court. It was not the municipal court. It was for Class B misdemeanor felony, something of that sort. Anyway, I faced a year in jail if I was convicted of this. Yeah, I would have faced a year in jail. And the failure to ID, I would have had, fines up the wahoo. Yes, San Antonio. This is in San Antonio. This Judge A. Longoria is in San Antonio, Texas. This is the judge in the Texas judicial system in San Antonio. This is not a makeshift judge. This is not a fake judge. This is not a friggin' prosecutor or a lawyer pretending to be a judge. This is an actual courtroom in a courthouse that is dictated, that is specifically for court hearings, not for public hearings, not for anything. There is a judge. This is his courtroom. And the only way that other hearings are going to be taken in here is if this judge is not on the bench. So this is a judicial judge of a higher court than that kangaroo court that you saw James Freeman participate, quote unquote, in, and was found in contempt by a fake person. This is ridiculous. Right? So if this isn't enough for you guys to think, what the heck is going on with the judicial system in Texas? We'll get rid of this window and we'll bring you to part 2. We'll bring you up to part 2. Oh wow, I don't have part 2 loaded. My apologies. I'll get you part 2 right now. But part 2 to this is even better because now I'm moving about the courtroom. I am talking with the prosecutor, interacting with the bailiffs, interacting with everybody, but also take a look at the noise that is out there. Because this in itself, if it's a dedicated courtroom, is still ridiculous. Alright, so bear with me. I am looking for the part 2 of that one. It's coming up here in just a second. And this one is a more relevant issue, because I'm going to start it right here after the Judge Longoria, and we're going to allow it to play. So after the first video, because I separated it into part 1 and 2, now I'm done speaking with the judge. Now he's passing me to the prosecutor.
Hey, Judge, I'm a very busy man, as are you.
I understand that, Mr. Young, but I'm done because I don't have the
All right, then I will speak with the prosecution, but we'll see what they can do, Judge. Thank you very much. Sir,
Yes.
would you like to drop the charges, please?
I am not going to drop the charges until I fully review the facts of your case.
I will do it.
If I may, real quick, in that first video that we saw, something that we just casually passed by was the fact that the judge said, I have no file in front of me. Now, if this was a murder charge, and the judge has no file in front of him, and someone's being held on murder one, that case would be dismissed. If it was O.J. Simpson, and he was being held, and they said, I have no file in front of me, he would be on his way out the door. No doubt about it. Hey, Bao, what's going on? Thanks for showing up. But clearly, no doubt about it, if this was a high-profile murder case, murder one, there's absolutely no way that this court would be allowed to operate like this. Now, you guys want to know, why is it allowed for cameras to be in high-profile cases and not in these lower kangaroo courts? I got the answer for you right here. The reason is this. I have the evidence right here on my channel for you. The reason is this. Is because they don't always operate like the high-profile cases. Your rights are not always respected. You don't have anything that's called a right. Rights don't exist. Rights are only a thought and a belief of a way to make someone act on the actions that you're doing. It is a different perception of what reality is. You have the right to do this. Okay, so that means that you should be able to do it unharassed. Yet, if that were true, why are auditors, videographers, photographers, people that are filming, always harassed by the police in public? That is my question to you. So, if rights do exist in this day and age, please show me where, how, and why. Because I would love to see it. The reason that cameras are allowed in high-profile courts is because everyone is coached by a legal team, by a production team, before they go in on the cameras, and they have their statements written out. Look at any high-profile sentencing, and you will see that they stumble through their statements because they're reading them. They're not thinking of them as these judges are doing in the lower municipal kangaroo courts. These courts are operating at a lower substandard rate than the higher trial proficient courts have to be at, because someone's life is at stake. Someone that people care about is at stake. Nobody cares about these small monetized citations that screw with the lower half. Nobody cares about it. Why? Let's find out.
Okay, and why have you not fully reviewed the facts of the case here today?
Turn that off, please.
Well, why have you not fully reviewed the facts as of thus far?
Please don't have that camera on me, please.
I'm just trying to make sure that I have a proper record, that's all.
You can point it downwards if you want. Just don't put his face in.
Why not? Is he ashamed of what he's doing? Attempting to prosecute without any evidence?
I have plenty of evidence. I have officer testimony. I have a police report.
I see.
And this is what we have. This is a police report indicating what you did.
Okay, so why have you refused to respond to the Brady and Discovery? You clearly have the motion.
Yes, it's a motion to dismiss, and I'm not going to dismiss.
And the motion for discovery, why have you failed to respond to...
Because you have to look under our criminal code 3914 that you are not entitled to any discovery. The only discovery that you're entitled to is to come look at our file. You're not entitled to take any copies of this.
I will stop this right here. You're not entitled to any copies of this. From their rules and procedures, I should actually obtain a file of everything that the prosecutor has. Every single file that the prosecutor has is discoverable evidence in any court proceeding. Now, him clearly saying, no, you're not allowed, or you're not entitled. Yeah, let me cut that other feed. Not that feed. Okay, hopefully that feed is cut now. Let's see. Da 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 da.
All right. Well.
All right, Clash with Bow. Guys, I appreciate the kind comments, but you guys know that we have 2 friends in cages, right? How can that be a good job? But I get what you guys mean. Bow, I'll tell you how it's a good job. It's because, unfortunately, as we've already discussed multiple times in the Discord, when you're challenging these thugs, these criminals, we understand the rage it incites in them. They don't like being challenged. They like people to obey them. They're power hungry people that want to be obeyed. Now, we have 2 people in cages. That is right. But we should not be discouraged by that. I've been caged. Every auditor, every person that is challenging these thugs will be caged at some point in time. It just happens. Now, it's how we respond to that. Is James Freeman going to give up? No. I'm sure he's in good spirits right now trying to hold up. As long as they are not beating or abusing him when he gets out and he is, you know, in good shape, that's all we can think of. But let's just think that he is in good mindset right now and that he is going to be out here soon. But the problem is we take these unlawful cagements. Cagements. Probably not a word. But we get caged for the purpose of what we do. And what we do is probably going to get us thrown in jail. But we are aware of that. And as you saw in the live stream, James Freeman knew it. So he relinquished all of his property because he didn't want to get locked up with that. Once they said you're held in contempt, he knew what was going on. They took a setup route and they took a route to deprive him of any sort of liberties that he thought he had. And that's the problem. These courtrooms, these judicial settings will make you think twice about challenging them because it doesn't matter what due process is. A judge can revoke all of due process and throw you in jail because they don't like you. All they have to say is one word: contempt. Actually, a couple. I find you in contempt of court. But contempt, that is the deadly word, is contempt. Right? So let's pay attention to how contempt charges can easily come up for absolutely no reason.
Why have you failed to actually submit any evidence satisfying the element of jurisdiction? Do you only have police statements, or do you have any evidence of jurisdiction?
Sir, the offense committed in Bexar County, that's enough jurisdiction.
Again, you're using logical fallacy and not actually clarifying. I'm asking, have you submitted any evidence satisfying the element of jurisdiction?
What jurisdiction are you referring to?
Whatever jurisdiction you're saying that you have.
The jurisdiction I have is over Bexar County, the state of Texas.
Okay, and have you submitted any jurisdiction that because I am physically located in a geographical position that your codes and statutes, constitution, and laws are applicable?
Yes, you were standing right now in Bexar County, Texas. You were arrested in Bexar County,
What are you clarifying Bexar County, Texas as?
The geography that you were arrested in the city of San Antonio. You were arrested by the city of San Antonio police.
Are you clarifying that Bexar County is the ground that we walk on?
Mr. Herring, yeah, this is totally unproductive. This is not, I'll give you the option to discover, to confer to see if you get any discovery.
I'm simply...
All right. If you guys did not see what happened there, I want to bring you guys up to speed. So if you guys can put a 1 in the chat, let me know when you're up to speed so I can start with my rant. I really want you guys to be listening. Alright, so this thing is on a late delay. Alright, sorry for the late delay, but with what just happened, I know you guys are paying more attention to the chat, but if you guys didn't pay attention, when I asked the prosecutor, are you clarifying that Bexar County is the ground that we walk on? And he did not answer, but yet the judge jumped in and said, Mr. Herron, I've allowed you time to question the prosecutor. He's allowed me to ask any other question, but the moment that I ask a relevant and particular question to the cause and nature of the proceedings, the judge jumps in. This is the tyrannical swap from the prosecutor to the judge, to the prosecutor to the judge, to the bailiff, to out of the courthouse, to the next court personnel. This whole court fiasco is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So let's listen to it again.
On you, please.
Are you clarifying that Bexar County is the ground that we walk on?
Mr. Herron, this is totally unproductive. This is not, I gave you the opportunity to discover, to confer to see if you had any discovery.
I'm still trying to clarify with him, Judge, if he...
Well, don't search the law, and you will figure out what the jurisdiction is.
Well, do I have the right to, be represented here today?
Yes.
If I so wish?
Yeah, you can get a court-appointed attorney if you'd like, if you qualify.
Okay. With that, I'm trying to bring it back onto productive means. It seems that they're already trying to push me out. Now I'm trying to recover. At this instance, I wasn't exactly sure. Again, I wasn't as knowledgeable at this point that I am now, but I was trying to recover. I made a few mistakes. I clarified a few points that I probably shouldn't have clarified. Now I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But as you guys can see, over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in frame faces that you can see. In that courtroom, all eyes were on me other than this gentleman over here where he seemed like he was going to text somebody what's going on. So this is relevant. And the judge sees this. This is happening in his courtroom. How is the judge going to make this right? How is he going to gain dominance? How is he going to secure the safety of his courtroom, his court personnel, because the prosecutor, the public defender, public pretender, the court people, the bailiffs, everybody in that courtroom that is on our side at this point. If you saw that there is a wall, everybody that is on our side as of right now, the judge is trying to protect, other than people that belong on the other side. So this is the clear-cut case of us versus them. The judicial system versus someone who challenged the system and does not belong. They feel I do not belong. Why do I not belong?
Okay, well, in order to go that route and determine if I actually need to defend myself with representation...
Oh, yeah, there was a point here I wanted to go over.
In order to...
No, it was before this. That's way too far.
Well, do I have the right to, be represented here today?
Yes.
If I so wish?
Yeah, you...
Alright, see, this is great. Do I have the right to be represented here today if I so wish? Because since I'm facing the excess of 6 months minimum, I can actually request a public defender. We don't like to go with public pretenders because they're people strictly out of law school that don't know everything, and they're learning the ropes by their failures of the prosecution. Hey, you did good that round, but if you were to went this route, you would have saved that guy and gave me a hard time. So the public defender is actually being trained by the prosecutor, and the prosecutor is being promoted to a judge because of all of the public defender's failures. So the prosecutor's conviction rate is in excess, the public defender is in recess, and the public defender then has to go and work harder in order to make it. But in order to work harder after law school, after giving 10 years, you're more brainwashed. So after about 20 years, they feel they can brainwash you enough to where you've done this, now you will violate people's rights, and they'll move you to a prosecutorial position. After a prosecutor, if you're good enough and convict people on foolish behavior, then you will be promoted to a judge, because now you can verify the integrity of the bar, the Bureau, it's not Bureau of Automotive Repair. I'm a mechanic. Bar means something else to me in California. The bar, the legal people that they're certified through, whatever the heck that means. But the judge is able to make sure that everybody is in line with the bar, because by the time you're actually making any money in the legal field, you've been in it for 20 years, you're dedicated, you're in a midlife crisis, and they've actually brainwashed you to now violate people's rights and be a indecent human being. Yes, F off Productions. What I'm saying is, no matter what side, we are screwed. If you opt in for a public defender, you are getting a quote-unquote bar-certified person that just got qualified. Somebody that knows the books, but they don't know the actual repair. Just like in a mechanic. You can be certified, or you can go to school and get your certificates or anything of that sort, and then you go into the field, but you don't know how to repair anything because it's different. And it's the same thing with a public defender. They get thrown in that position because they are the weakest opponent against a seasoned prosecutor who used to be a public defender. That he knows every weakness of the public defender, and he makes the public defender look bad, to where if the public defender wants enough and is hungry enough, they will take those losses, figure out why they lost, and then move forward. All it is a straight belittling match. You belittle your next person that is in front of you so that you can better yourself. Is that the justice system? Of course it is. Judges are prior prosecutors, prior public defenders. They work their way up through the legal system, and they've learned how not to care for your rights. They've learned how to violate them, and they get the banhammer of all. They get the contempt charge. They get the contempt charge, people. Contempt of court means all violations or any subsequent thoughts of due process are violated. There is no due process in a contempt charge. And why is contempt so bad? Because I get faced with it right here. Watch.
You get a court-appointed attorney if you'd like, if you qualify.
Okay, well, in order to go that route and determine if I actually need to defend myself with representation, I need to first get clarification on what you're stating. I'm trying to find out exactly what you're
Sir, I can prove
stating.
the elements of the offense of obstruction of a highway by beyond a reasonable doubt. The fact is, though, that I could have an officer come in and testify and say on the stand that he arrested you in Bexar County, Texas, is more than enough for a jury to come back with a guilty verdict.
I'm just trying to find...
Okay, let me stop it right there. A presumption... I'm sorry. Let me stop you right there. A presumption of innocence is different than being found guilty. If you're presumed innocent, why are you arrested, held at bond, lose your money that is not able to be refunded? You're not presumed innocent. You're guilty. You have to pay for your freedom. That's not innocence. Innocence is not paying for your freedom. Innocence is you have your freedom until they find a reason to take it away. So the straight bond aspect of any sort of charge is foolish because it's an oxymoron against you're free or you're innocent until proven guilty. You're not. How are you innocent? Let's base it on a logical discourse matter. If you are claimed to be innocent, and you have the right to be innocent until proven guilty, and yet they handcuff you, cage you, take away all of your foundation to live, your shoe wear, your clothing, any personal identification about you, any essence of freedom, they strip from you and throw you in an alleged outfit to where you look bad on the jury. If I'm innocent until proven guilty, why can't I dress in a suit? I can only dress in a suit if I paid my bond? So no, I'm not innocent until proven guilty. I'm guilty until I pay for my innocence. And that's what we have to deal with. I'm guilty until I prove my innocence. And that's why he wants a public defender. That's why he is so off, because he knows that he can destroy every public defender in that house. Because he was just there and he knows how to destroy them. He knows the tricks that they don't. He'll take them out. But again, a contempt charge. What happens?
Find out and see if you have submitted any evidence satisfying your element.
So the evidence comes from testimony of witnesses.
The evidence comes from testimony of witnesses?
Negative. Evidence doesn't come from testimony of witnesses. Evidence comes from factual information. Something that can be verified. Evidence from testimony cannot always be verified. It is circumstantial at best. And he knows this. Look at his stance. He's got like a matador stance. He's trying to take me out. You think I'm going to stand for that? Am I going to let this prosecutor take me out? Psh, you guys got something wrong.
Yes.
So did they have personal first-hand knowledge
Yes,
of
they
the code's applicability?
Yes, they do.
Really?
I think our work is done here, sir. You are not, I mean, you were asking about jurisdiction. Do you have any other questions that you wish to confer about?
Is that the only evidence of jurisdiction that you're relying on? Is a witness? Is testimony of an officer?
More than enough.
Again, more than enough. That is the first statement from any first-year prosecutor. It is enough. Because he knows that if he gets the right jury selection, that he can make this evidence enough to convict a guilty man. Now, is that justice? Or is that simply a prosecutor on a tirade? I say this prosecutor is not fit for service. It is not justice if I can just convince a jury because of circumstantial evidence and a good story. But they tell you, if you look at Ethical Anarchist Articulated, he has an evidentiary story that shows in first year Harvard School, they talk about jury selection. The first thing is because it doesn't matter what's factual. It's what you can make people believe. So prosecutors don't care about factual information. They care about what they can make a jury believe. Can we make a jury believe that this guy is guilty? Can we create a good story? Well, is a good story, a fictional story, enough for a basis of justice to convict a man for years in prison? To convict a man of contempt of court? No, James Freeman should not be behind bars right now. He should not be behind bars right now because James Freeman was not doing anything wrong. All he was doing was complying with the orders set forth until he actually did, and the lower courts decided to make up some rules and charge him for contempt. Because lower courts are not of record, so they're not documented. Any complaints to a lower court are not documented. So therefore, any judges that are shiznacky, I don't want to cuss, but scat, poo-poo, any judge that is poo-poo gets sent to a lower municipal court because anything that is challenged is only defined as a retrial, and it causes you more disdain towards the court. It causes you more time from your schedule. It causes more effort from your being. And that's what they want. They want to start you out as low as possible and then railroad you until you get to a court of what they call court of record, which you've already been to 3 courts, 2 courts, 1 court, or maybe it's the first court of record. But they're still going to railroad you because they do not want to admit that they are wrong. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. So how do we make them admit that they're wrong? I think it's because we can record them. I'm going to let this play through for a little bit. Tell me, after I get escorted out, I'm going to let this play through this area, and we'll see. Pay attention to the judge's words, if you can hear them. If not, please go and mark the timestamps that you can't hear and go try to watch it with headphones. I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix my audio from this point. This is the loudest I can get it. But listen to the judge's conversation versus the prosecutor's conversation versus when the bailiffs interact. Now watch that, and then we'll be back to decipher exactly what happened. But real quick, I want to say I enjoy you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up. We're going to get started. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Give me a hell yeah in the comments right now. Give me a hell yeah. I want to see them. Hell yeahs light up. I want the hell yeahs to light up. Because we're here to figure out why the judicial system is so corrupt. So let the hell yeahs corrupt. Let them go. Let them fly. Hell yeah. In the chat. Because we're going to find out right now exactly why we have a problem.
That's what you're relying on. Is a witness. It's testimony of an officer.
More than enough.
That's what you're relying on.
That is exactly what I'm relying on.
And am I going to get any copies of any other evidence that you have that you're going to respond to?
Pardon?
Do you have any evidence that shows what relevance to the motion and the Brady request?
Sir, Brady is an ongoing duty. We are not aware of any Brady violations at this time.
Okay, and how about the discovery request? Do you have any of those informations in your packet?
As I said to you, sir, you are entitled to read a copy of the police report in our file. That is the only discovery that you are entitled to. If you would like to read a copy of the police report...
Is that the only evidence of jurisdiction that you have?
At this time, it is. If you would like, then it sounds like you want a trial. If you want
No, I'm not trying to go to trial. I would love to plead guilty. I have an unsigned plea of guilt. I'll sign. I'll submit it to the court. Your job is easy. I'm just wanting to see if you've submitted any evidence satisfying the element of jurisdiction, yes or no.
Mr. Heron, they haven't at this time because I don't have a file. When the file comes, it will have a sworn information in it, and that will be the basis of the jurisdiction. It will be a sworn allegation that some violation of the basis of the laws of the state of Texas occurred here in Bexar County on X date by Y person. X date being the 16th, Y person being you.
Well, why have they failed to submit any evidence thus far? How is it ethical to impose upon someone without any evidence and keeping a bond over me? Judge, I moved to quash the bond so we may clear up this, this issue.
Mr. Heron, I've already explained to you what's going to happen. If I grant your motion to dismiss, they refile the case, you're going to get rearrested. I'm trying to avoid doing that, but I have to reset your case for 30 days.
Well, I move that you stipulate to be with prejudice. That you dismiss the case and stipulate it to be with prejudice, Judge.
Yeah, make it be with prejudice. I haven't heard any reason to make it prejudice.
Because they have absolutely no evidence at this point to impose upon me. All they have is just, opinions of men in uniform. All they have is the fact that they have a gun and that they can enforce things. That's all that they have. They don't have any ethical background to go ahead and justify their claims. And they don't have any paperwork that I have seen that can justify their claims.
Would you like to file another case, Mr. Applebaum? I'd be happy to dismiss this.
No, Judge, I think we're going to stick with this one now. But I mean, unless we want to do contempt of court.
Judge, I'm simply trying to handle this matter here today.
This is a court order. Come up here, sign your reset, go about your business. You may come back and present any motions you want to present at the next setting, which will be on November, I'm sorry, when's the next setting? Well, December 9th.
Judge, I'm simply just trying to handle this matter here today to get clarification.
You cannot handle this matter today. I've already denied your motions to dismiss. I've explained to you I have no court file.
I want to take a moment here just to express my disdain of the judicial system. I cannot dismiss this today because I do not have a file. That is clear grounds of a dismissal. Don't worry, this ended in a dismissal. Patrick, I want to say that we have a right to a speedy trial. We always want to submit that. But we never want to waive our right to a speedy trial. But we're not waiving our right to speedy trial. We're simply trying to clarify issues that have to be discussed at arraignment. So we will always bring this issue back to arraignment. That is what I'm trying to do, is bring it back to arraignment. Because if you have a question on the table, a clarifying question on the table to the cause and nature of the proceedings, according to their rules, you're entitled to that information. And I hate to use entitled, but they're supposed to give you the information that you're requesting, because I don't know if I need to represent myself pro se, if I need to hire legal counsel, if I need to be represented. There's so many clarifications that need to be determined before we can go on. But when he says, I don't have a file, I do not have a file, so I cannot dismiss this, that is ridiculous. That is the most absurd statement that I have ever heard from a judge, is I cannot dismiss this because I don't have a file. If the prosecution held me on a bond and I had to pay that bond, and now I'm coming to court and they don't have a file, I should be refunded. That bond has never been refunded, and I still owe TX Sheepdog 72 that bond. Yeah, I hate to say it now, but TX Sheepdog 72, that guy is great. Every auditor that I've come in contact with in Texas has been great. And it's unfortunate that I can't be here now, but I'm in California and this is the best that I can do. So I'm trying to show that this is injustice at its best. We have an actual judge in an actual courtroom, to say the least. And yet, James Freeman was held in contempt in a city hall, a public space for any citizen, any member of the public to come in, get information about the city that they're in. That is the most public place that you can be, and yet he was arrested, deprived of his freedom. For what? For what? Let's continue.
Sign this and come back on December 9th.
Respectfully, Judge, I'm just trying to clarify. If I don't sign that...
Your clarifications are done now. This is your notice of the next setting. Your case is...
Clarifications are done now. The judge has had enough. The judge has had enough. Clarifications are done. Your questions are done. Would he do this to a public defender? Probably. Would he do this to a private attorney? No, because I'm paying him way too much to make this happen. But why, if he has no file, is this judge denying a dismissal? Is this how the Texas judicial system is?
Here, take this. You don't even have to sign it. Okay? Put it back in the file. The case is reset till November, December.
Well, objection, point of clarification, Judge. I don't wish to be reset. I'm simply trying to handle this matter here today. Do I not have the right to handle this matter here today?
You cannot handle this matter today. I don't have the file. I'm not going to have a file for a while. I'll have a file on December 9th. You can be...
Okay, so you cannot handle this matter today. I don't have the file. I won't have the file until November 9th. So he knows when he's expecting the file. He doesn't have it now, but he knows when he's expecting it. Why does this Texas judge know when he's expecting a file that is not in front of him here today? The file is not here today. You cannot handle it here today, but yet I'm being held on bond. I have to report into a bond agency every day with my location, with my name, with personal information, and yet this judge cannot handle this today? Why? Why can't this judge handle this today? Is this what James Freeman is going through? Does he have to deal with this judicial mishap? This is a fiasco. This is a Bexar County fiasco. And if Bexar County's like this, what's stopping any lower, small, corrupt kangaroo court from being like this? I'm scared for James Freeman. I don't know if he is out. And if this is the judicial system that he has to deal with, there's something we have to do. Because he's trapped, in my opinion. Again, we're not making any calls because we're trying to get him out. But why are we trying to negotiate with the enemy? As far as I'm concerned, from what I swore an oath to when I served in the military, we don't negotiate with terrorists. I did not negotiate with this terrorist Longoria. I did not negotiate with the prosecutor, the terrorist prosecutor. I did not negotiate with the blue ISIS. Yet why are we negotiating for the freedom of our fellow auditors, the fellow people that stand out every day, that are risking their lives on a daily basis, that are taken from their freedom to make this happen? I served in the Army, 91 Bravo. Keith Gregory, 91 Bravo. This judge's name is Judge John A. Longoria. But again, he's trying to protect the prosecutor. Yeah, they told Gunner he could face 6 months if he didn't identify. That is ridiculous. 3802 clearly states that you don't have to identify unless you have been lawfully arrested. Lawfully arrested. And then there was a change for lawfully detained that has been, in question. But, no, he has to be lawfully arrested. It's not a stop and ID state. You can't have a primary charge be failure to ID. We know this. That is ridiculous. F-Off Productions. Yeah, your AR-15 is very solid, bro. But, again, this Judge A. Longoria, he is protecting the prosecutor. What do you guys think that happens next? We'll find out. Let's go.
Well, Judge, I moved to quash the bond then, so I don't have to worry about evidence imposing.
Bond, you go back to jail.
Not if you say that it's not ethical to place me in jail, Judge.
You don't have any information before me to determine.
If you have no evidence in front of you, how are you denying my motion to dismiss? I thought this was supposed to be a place of equals and not a star chamber, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. As I've already explained to you, the state is being given a reasonable time to get the file prepared.
And what do you declare as reasonable time?
30 more days from now is a reasonable time.
30 days more from now is a reasonable time. This court case was set far enough in advance to where they had already dismissed not only mine, I mean not mine, but Buck G's, TX Sheepdog, and Este Ecstasy Prez. 3 charges. Every single charge from that incident was dismissed, and not mine. But yet they still need reasonable amount of time. A reasonable amount of time is 30 days from now when you have no file, when the other files have already been dismissed? That is ridiculous. That is not a court of justice. That's a star chamber. Everybody go look up star chamber. Moderators, if you can, please post star chamber from court, what it means. Thank you.
Why are they continuing to get ample time? Judge, that shows a bias from on your end that the prosecution is getting time.
You're excused. You may leave now.
Am I being threatened out of the court, Judge?
Let's go.
Why is the bailiff putting hands on me? Please don't touch me, sir.
I'm escorting you out of the courtroom.
Please don't touch me.
Okay, at this point, things are starting to escalate. At this point, the record is still going, so I'm trying to make my voice heard. Remember, the voice record has no concept of perception, time, or anything. So we have to really be vigilant about time perspective. Anytime you're in this courtroom or anytime you're anywhere, they're already recording in case anything were to happen. They're already recording. The record's already going. Now, what they classify as an official record versus a record of time versus just their recording, it's a play on words, and they don't want to give you what's going on. They want a selection choice. Okay? So things are about to get violent, but I have done nothing but be respectful, try to challenge these people in the courtroom, and as you saw, it's all been allowed. And yet James Freeman was arrested. Why? I don't know. Not in a Texas judicial system. It was just a kangaroo court. It was just something that they felt they should do because the public wanted, and they think that the court of public opinion is going to allow for it. That is not acceptable. Let's finish this up.
I'm just trying to find out from the judge.
Go.
Please, sir,
Judge,
don't touch me.
Let's go.
Why are you touching me, Judge? Why are you touching me? Why are you placing your hands on me?
Step out of the courtroom.
Don't place your hands on me.
Step out of the courtroom.
Do not place your hands on me, sir. I feel threatened.
Step out of the courtroom.
Do not place your hands on me.
Step out of the courtroom.
Name and badge number.
You can see it right now on your camera. Step out of the courtroom. That's right. Step out of the
badge number, sir. Don't touch me.
Step out of the courtroom.
Sir, do not touch me. Badge number. I'm just trying to get your badge number.
Let's go.
2898, or is that a 9?
Let's go. Come on.
If you would articulate, I'd be on my way.
Let's go.
If you would articulate, I'd be on my way. Can I have your name and badge number, please?
6325. Send me a perimeter to 44.
Can I have your name and badge number? Please. I just like the name and badge numbers of the man who assaulted me.
The judge said your business is done. You have no business in the courtroom. Let's go.
I'm not in the courtroom, but now I'm trying to find out the name of the man who assaulted me. May I have your name, please?
Let's go.
Can I have your name and badge number,
You have it on camera. Let's go.
I don't have your badge. I don't have your badge number.
You have it on camera. Let's go.
It's
on camera. Let's go. We don't have an argument, me and you. Let's go.
You assaulted me, sir.
I did not assault you.
Your hands are on me now, and you are touching me.
You're refusing my orders to leave.
What lawful authority do you have,
Because the judge is done with.
Now, I have some subscribers that say, well, not subscribers, they obviously don't subscribe to me, but I have some trolls that say, this guy didn't touch you, his hands are clearly off of you. Well, if you look down, he's moving his right hand back. His left hand is already back because he's done moving me with that, and I moved from my right hand pan to the left hand pan. And you see the right hand move back. So, clearly, his hands were on me. So, you guys can go Scrooge yourself.
With your business. You're done.
Can I get your name and badge number, and I will be?
You have it.
Name and badge number, and I will be. Please take your hands off me.
You can either take the elevator or you can take the stairs. Let's go.
I don't feel safe with you, please. I'm going down the stairs. I thought you gave me another chance.
Let's go then.
Don't get your hands off me.
Go.
Fucking pig. See, everybody, this is the justice that you deal with whenever you try to get things clarified. You got these fat fucks behind you that, assault you because they have a badge and a gun and a taser. They'll assault you, they'll escort you out, they'll do whatever they want. They'll go ahead and raise hustle because you know what? They just follow orders. They're blind, they're ignorant. That's it, they just follow orders, do what they want. Assault people, push people around.
You know me, right, Eric?
Personal escorts all the way out. From these people, these criminals, these fucking thugs that assault you. All of these fuckers behind us. Take a look at this, freedom. Take a look at the freedom. Yeah, justice looks more like just us. Here, in this day and age, in this police state, it doesn't matter who's gonna be president. It doesn't matter who you wanna vote for, because your vote doesn't matter. All that matters is the blue line, that thin blue line of these criminals, these thugs, these fucking gangsters behind me. See them following me? Yeah, I know it's not good to turn your back on a criminal, but you know what? Let them shoot you in the face. Let them shoot me in the back. It's fine. It's okay, YouTube. Thank you very much. Oh, this is gonna be great. I am pretty angry.
You have a wonderful day, sir.
Yeah, fuck you. There's a finger, asshole. Freedom of speech. Go fuck yourself.
Really?
Go fuck yourself.
Alright, I'll put a pause to that real quick because that was very aggressive. That was very aggressive on my part. And I do apologize for that. But I was in the moment. I was heated. I was being assaulted down the stairs. Yeah, Joshua Haynes, by all means, this is an adult channel. Go ahead, speak your mind, brother. But yeah, that was the outro. I spoke my mind. This guy was putting his hands on me and pushing me down the stairs the entire time. And as you saw, when I challenged him, his mindset.
There's a finger, asshole. I'm pretty angry.
Alright, so I'm going to play this again. Just watch the old man whenever I tell him to F off. They're pushing me out the courthouse. They have no right to push me out the courthouse. I'm out of the judge's courtroom. I walked in without being challenged, and now they're forcing me out because they don't like that I'm filming, because I have their deception on camera. That is ridiculous. Look before and follow through the timestamp. When I started this, part 1, I walked into this courtroom and they had no problem with the camera. Now they do. Now they do, and we'll show it. Watch the old man's facial expressions when I use foul language. I'm sorry, but if you don't want to hear foul language, please leave now. I'm going to give you a chance to leave. Foul language is about to happen. I apologize, but we're going to listen to it again. Let's see what happens.
You have a wonderful day, sir.
Yeah, fuck you. There's a finger, asshole. Freedom of speech. Go fuck yourself.
Really?
Go fuck yourself.
Alright, so that interaction right there was heavy. I am aware, and I apologize again. The warning came through, but how are we supposed to interact with that? Sound off in the chat right now and let me know. How would you guys respond to that incident? I was forced out of the courtroom and now out of the courthouse. I have video footage showing that I was able to be let in, no problem. Now he's trying to force me out. And he tried to turn back and do something. It doesn't seem that he's able to control his emotions. Is that something that we need to be scared of with this Texas judicial system? This was a couple of years ago. I'm scared for James Freeman. He's in a system where now he is in areas where people haven't swam before. I've swam there before. I've dealt with it before. But now they're arresting people for it. What do we do to secure this and make sure that it doesn't happen? I don't know. I love your guys' input.
Who you want to vote for? Yeah, fuck you. There's a finger, asshole. Freedom of speech. Go fuck yourself.
Really?
Go fuck yourself. Woo!
Again, everybody, this has been Soulless Productions. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody showing their support and taking the time to listen to what I have to say. Videotaping in public in a courthouse should not be as dangerous as James Freeman. That is what I have to say. After everything that we have going on, that should not happen. I have clearly done it in what they call a higher court so that we know that these lower courts are just acting out of emotion and they have no standing. I have done this recording before, and he should not have been caged. It's ridiculous. It's not allowed. And rest assured, Soulless Production is on this. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. You guys have a good night. With that, I'll leave you guys with the original song that allowed me to start up my channel. We'll end with this. You guys follow up your comments in the channel. You guys have a few minutes to do it, but let's see what we got. This has been Soulless Productions. Take care.
Smoke a joint and beat off in the shower, then dispose of all the evidence and pop a couple downers. You know me, then you know I really have no friends. Get high a lot, I drink and drive a lot. The innocent, they die a lot. Now don't be fooled when you see me smile a lot, cause I go punk rock, blow up your whole block. Nigga, wake up, motherfucker, wake up. I don't give a fuck, motherfucker, wake up. You're not punk rock, bitch, you're just a punk. Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die. Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die. Get high, motherfucker, high. We ride, motherfucker, all motherfucking die. Meet me in the parking lot, pussy. Semper Fi, put 'em up, I'm ready for a fight. These First Amendment rights are guaranteed to me regardless if I say shit you don't like. So every night I grab that mic, I spit shit just for spite. If I can push some buttons, what the fuck should I recite? Poems are meant to shed some light on all these hypocrites and sodomites. Body out inside a ride in this twilight zone tonight. Cause I don't give a fuck. Now shut the fuck up. Or I'll go straight punk, blow your whole block. Wake up, nigga. Wake up, motherfucker, wake up. I don't give a fuck, motherfucker, wake up. You're not punk rock, bitch, you're just a punk. Christ. Why is life as cold as hell? And why can't I control myself? Why am I so insecure? I don't even know myself. I'm so fucking immature. I tried to grow hydro myself. If I had the power, I'd bring back the Twin Towers myself. Then I'd gather up all the Al-Qaeda cowards. Now you're all burning in hell. Now you get what you deserve. Now you know not to fuck with my brother Nick Bird. Now shut the fuck up or I'll go straight punk and blow your whole block. Wake up, nigga. Wake up, motherfucker. Wake up. I don't give a fuck, motherfucker. Wake up. You're not punk rock, bitch. You're just a punk. Die, motherfucker. Die, motherfucker. Die. Die, motherfucker. Die, motherfucker. Die. Get high, motherfucker. High, motherfucker. High. We ride, motherfucker. All motherfucking die. Die, motherfucker. Die, motherfucker. Die. Die, motherfucker. Die, motherfucker. Die. Get high, motherfucker. High, motherfucker. High. We ride, motherfucker. All motherfucking die. Jesus fucking Christ. Why is life as cold as hell?
I say through you, you say fuck me. I say fuck you. I don't love you. You ride the bump and I say fuck you, bitch. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Soulless Productions channel. I really appreciate it. You guys take care. I love every one of you guys. You guys have a wonderful night. Stay tuned. We're going to be coming live with new things coming up. I really appreciate everything. Have a wonderful night.